Welcome to part 3 of Prematurity. We're going to discuss the characteristics of a premature baby. Now, one thing that you need to know is that the preterm babies are immature and are unable to adapt to extrauterine life. Its characteristic features is related to its gestation age. Let's start by looking at the head. When you look at the head of the baby, you're going to notice that the head is larger than the body, meaning it's large in proportion to the body. And when you look at the face of this baby, the face has a triangular shape, a pointed chin, and a worried face expression. Then when you examine the head for the sutures and the fontanelles, you're going to notice that the sutures and the fontanelles are widely separated and the skull bones are soft. When you measure the head, you're going to notice that the head circumference is less than 34 centimeters. Then when you look at the ears, you're going to see that the ears are transparent and they are very much small, which makes them to stick to the head in lateral position. Then you're going to notice that the nostrils are very small and they are easily blocked. So when you're looking at the head of this baby, these are the characteristics that you're going to notice. Then when you're looking at the skin, you're going to notice that the skin is very thin and it appears brick red. So the reason this skin is thin and appears brick red is because there is the absence of the subcutaneous fat. Then the surface veins are absent and the skin is covered by a varied amount of soft air. So that soft air, we call it as lanugo. Okay. Then you're going to notice that on the skin of the baby there is vernix caseosus. So the vernix caseosus is just that whitish thing that you're going to notice on the baby's skin when the baby is born. That is the vernix caseosus. Another characteristics that we can look at is when we examine the upper and the lower limbs, you're going to notice that the upper and the lower limbs, they are thin and the nails are really soft. And in most cases, you're going to find that the nails do not reach the toe tips or the fingertips. Okay. Then you're going to notice that the arms are longer than the lower limbs. Then the palm creases and the plantar creases are not well formed. So when you're talking about the palm creases or the plantar creases, we're talking about those lines that you have on your palms. When you look at a premature baby, those lines on the palm, they are not well formed, and those lines on the plantar, they are not well formed or well developed as well. Then you're going to notice that the upper limbs and the lower limbs, they appear edematous. The reason they appear edematous is due to poor venous retention or poor venous return. Okay. Another characteristic that we can look at is when we examine the chest. When we examine the chest, you're going to notice that the chest is really small and narrow. Now, when you measure this chest, you're going to find that the chest circumference is less than 33 centimeters. And then on the chest, you're going to notice that there is absence of the breast tissue. Therefore, the breast tissue is not palpable. And then when you notice, when you inspect the chest, you're going to notice that there is poor breathing pattern. This is due to insufficient lung surfactant in this baby. Remember, the lungs are not fully developed. This is why the baby has poor breathing pattern. Then from the chest, you move on to examine the abdomen. When you examine the abdomen, you're going to notice that this abdomen is large and it is distended, and then the umbilicus appears to be low set, and on the umbilicus you are going to notice the Wharton's jelly, it is there. Okay. From the abdomen, you look at the the reproductive system, specifically the genitalia, the male and the female genitalia. When you look at the female genitalia, you're going to notice that the labia minora are prominent and the labia majora are not well developed. Then you're going to see protrusion of the clitoris, which exposes the urethra. And then when you look at the male genitalia, you're going to notice that the scrotum has no luggi. So when you're talking about the luggi, you're talking about those wrinkles that you see on the scrotum, or those folds that you see on the scrotum. So they are not present in a premature baby. And then this scrotum appears brick red in color, with the testicle not descended into it. So there is no testicle in the scrotum, and it has no luggi, and then it appears brick red in color. Other characteristics that we can look at is length. When you measure the length of this premature baby, you're going to find that the length is less than 39 centimeters. And then when you look at the posture of this baby, you're going to notice that the legs and arms are extended in a frog-like position. Then when you examine the respiratory system, you're going to notice irregular respiration, and then the cry of the baby is weak or it is high pitched. The cough reflex is weak or it is absent. So those are the characteristics of a premature baby. In our next video, we'll be looking at the management of prematurity.